Did you know that 1 out of 5 Americans have a storage space outside of their house? And it's no wonder because storage spaces can just accumulate more and more things. So today and this week in this challenge, the Clear Your Home Out Challenge, I am going to be tackling my storage space. So let's buckle up. I am so excited to be tackling these storage spaces today because storage spaces are just an important part of every house. We all need to keep some things for later. The problem is it's hard for us quite often to decide what to keep for later, and we end up throwing a ton of things into our storage spaces. And that's why I think it's so great to be going through things on kind of like a semi-regular basis, maybe like once a year, maybe twice, once you've actually got the bulk of it done. But if you have not decluttered your stuff, definitely consider doing some more high impact areas first, like maybe your kitchen or somewhere that you are in more often, so you can like really get that win and feel amazing once you get that done. However, once you start tackling the storage spaces, it can be so beneficial. One of the things I love about having a decluttered storage space is that it is easier to go in and out of to get things that you need. You can see as I'm going through here, I am pulling out things that you would need on sort of a regular, annual basis. I think is like for the most part what I have in there. I have a lot of like wrapping paper,
My Home Alone house.
the Home Alone house, and a few other things. So it's great to have things like tucked away to be used for later. I love to decorate for Christmas. I love to decorate for Halloween, but I obviously don't need these things out all the time. What I do need is to be able to access them more easily. And that was becoming the problem with Under the Stairs again. And I've done a few videos of decluttering under the stairs, and it's usually once a year I do that video. And here I'm getting to the deeper section where we actually have the some sentimental things tucked in there amongst some of the other sort of more seasonal things, which I think is super helpful because you don't necessarily need the sentimental stuff out in the open. It's nice to have it accessible. I mean, I think like if you had why would we need sentimental things accessible? Like here I am, I'm going through my yearbooks and some photos, and I'm not going to go through like all of my photos during this particular decluttering session. Maybe I'll do that next year when I do Under the Stairs again. But I think that why do we want to be able to access our sentimental stuff? It's because we want to be able to share those memories with people, share the photos. Here I am researching whether or not I can replace the wheel on a broken suitcase. Now, I am not one of the people that always wants to save things. A lot of people, they want to save things, and I think that I understand that, but it's not necessarily good for us to always be coming across things and thinking, oh, I can save this or whatever. But this was one thing. It was like a pretty good high quality suitcase with the exception of like this one wheel that got damaged. And I thought, okay, I want to be that person that fixes things if it is something that we're definitely going to use and that can be fixed very easily. And I already have received the wheel in the mail, and I'm super excited to put that on. So these angels that you see there, those were given to me when I was a teenager. I was really into like angels and whatever. My mom, I think there were some shelves that we even had like up higher on the walls for me to put my angels, but I haven't used them since. So what I did is I asked my niece, I think, and she was like, no, I'm not really into that. She did want the snow globe. There was a big snow globe. So we're bringing that to her. We're going to Alberta and we're going to bring that to her. But she didn't want the angels, totally fine. I am not a person that wants to ever pressure people. I never want to be the person that shows up at somebody's house with a bunch of stuff saying, I decluttered this. This is for you. You can decide if you want it. But I looked to see if there was any kind of value. They're really not worth that much. So I'm just going to donate them, and I think they will make somebody very happy. So this is all the wrapping supplies, which is actually pretty good. I am working through the bows. I don't think I'll probably ever need to buy bows again, because in my family we always just reuse them. This Lego set is the Home Alone house. So this will be built this year. They started it last year, but right after we get back from Thanksgiving, they will do that. And then just some luggage. That's actually stockings. I just don't feel like putting them away. So under those bags, which I guess we're saving for my son, it turns out, is the sentimental stuff. Not much. And it's mostly photos, snorkeling gear, the Easter stuff, the Vitamix, and the tote for the Halloween supplies. And then here is where the mattress goes that my husband uses on night shift, but it's night shift, so he's got it out. The next day, I was working on children's artwork, and I also worked on some of the Halloween decor. Now, children, like, look at this. I thought, oh my gosh, like my child's head could fit in that. That was so wonderful. And looking through it, I thought, what is worth keeping for children's artwork? Some things you could tell the teacher had taken, like, had done a lot, which was lovely, but they had written it, and maybe my kid like pasted some piece, like puzzle pieces or something on whatever. And there were a lot where I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep this. And it felt really good. I'm just like, keep showing you pictures real quick of the kids doing their stuff. But it's very fun to see all that they've done over the years. But also it feels really good to just say, okay, we're keeping the things that are really special. It has their little face, it has their little handprint or whatever, and the rest can go. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to put up my Boo thing here. We got that at Legoland a few years ago, which was really fun. And going through my Halloween decor and what was I going to decorate with and what was I not going to decorate with. And I was really quite impressed with what I managed to declutter, because I am such a lover of decorating for, like, basically just the fall and Christmas season. I would say, like, I actually decorate for fall in September, and I also like to put out Halloween stuff. So I was looking through here and I thought, okay, my kids don't use face paint anymore. They don't really get ready for things. We used to live in a much busier neighborhood, and we would actually decorate the outside of the house for Halloween. It was really fun. So reevaluating when you're going through your storage stuff, because we do have things like decor in there. What stage of life am I at? Am I going to want this stuff? And it was great. Now I was on to the pantry. Now I love my pantry, and some of you may know I'm into food storage, food preservation, which I didn't show in this video because I had done a recent video. But when I do my upcoming tour, you'll see that. And I believe in having things for just in case. Like, we had a power outage that lasted for 3 days in 2018. And it was December, and it was awful. Learned a lot. Learned that I was not at all prepared. So the basement is sort of my long-term food storage and intermediate food storage. Now, the pantry itself, I like to have things that are accessible. I love to cook, and I have a freeze dryer, and I have a lot of freeze-dried food. And I also don't, what you're seeing me do here is I am going through things that we had purchased that are stale or they're not getting eaten. Now, my rule in our house is if it's junk food, you don't have to eat it. So I was getting rid of some junk food, but I'm also not going to, like, keep even, like, healthy stale food. And I use a lot of canned foods, jarred foods, and they stack up in the pantry. So I am like getting things organized so I can put them back downstairs, which is really good. And just tidying things up. And I love organizing. It just soothes my soul. The most important thing to realize about organizing is that you can't organize clutter. You have to declutter first. You can try. What really ends up happening is, number one, you waste so much time. A lot of us, we think that the answer is to buy totes and to buy storage shelves. I did that for so long. There are I think it was like 25% of Americans have a storage unit. And that is just to store quite often extra stuff that they can't keep at their house. And I get it. I mean, like the way that a lot of us were raised, it was about consuming things. And I think truly in our DNA, it's about being prepared for emergencies and all of the things. And I think what I love about the pantry though, is it is sort of it is storage, but it is a very alive kind of storage. We are moving things. We are getting things done. And one thing I love is decanting things so that they look pretty in the jars. And sometimes I'm not great at guessing the jar size. It just makes the pantry look a lot nicer. I think that one of the main reasons why I have gone minimalist light, and if you don't know what minimalist light is, that is one of the people on one of my live streams came up with it, and I was explaining that I have a lot of hobbies, but I try to keep as little of all of the things I need as possible. And you can see that those jars look much more beautiful than all of the boxes that those things came in. On this side, where you can see over there are a lot of boxes. And the reason why I have all of that there is so that I can't see it quite as easily as I can these beautiful jars. And I think that that is really nice. And again, back to why we have storage in the first place. All of that stuff, you need to look and say, am I going to keep that? And that's what I did when I was going through all of that. Is somebody going to eat this? And my teenagers are famous for having said, well, famous to me and in our family, we only have ingredients. We don't have any snack food. And I'm like, well, that's because you ate all the snack food. But the whole point of having the ingredients in storage is that they are available to be used and to make life easier. We want to have efficiency in daily life. And that is even why we have storage units, I suppose, for some people. But ultimately, for me and my life, storage in the basement, storage in the garage. It's so that when it is Christmas, we can pull out those Christmas decorations. We can get out the actual tools that we use. And my son keeps bringing the cats up to the camera. He's a cat lover, that one. And when you're looking at your storage, I would love for you to ask yourself, what is the function of this? Is this a long-term storage? Is this a short-term storage area? And I think that it is what is going to help you to really sort of like decide what can even go there. Like in the basement where I had a lot of the things tucked away at the back that were more sentimental. And I want to go through the pictures. We have never done photo albums in my family at all. Let me know if you were a photo album family. We weren't growing up. I loved looking at people's photo albums. We just were not the photo album type of family. So what I do plan on doing though is going through the photos that I have in the basement. And I think like honestly, most of them are just for me as a young adult. And probably, I bet I could declutter about half of them. What I realized though is that at this stage of life with the kids and the business and all of those things, that is something I'm going to do a bit later. As I declutter more and more things, I am more able to get things done. This area that I'm working on right now is the kitchen desk, and I have a devoted video to this very thing that is coming out probably next week. So we are going to stop showing this right now. I just wanted to show you that this was yet another area that I was working on this week for my one of my 5 days. Okay, I just got back from the donation center. And I have my totes. They keep trying to take them and I'm like, nope, I'm doing a big declutter. So now I am going to declutter a space that I'm actually getting rid of. So in the garage, when I did that video, if you saw it, you may remember there was this, and I kind of forgot to do it. Well, these should have been downstairs anyway. Good thing my helpers are here today. I'm really excited to be doing this space actually because we're removing this entire cabinet. And that is one of my favorite things is to declutter something that was purchased for the purpose of storage. And we bought this because we thought we needed the overflow. This was the quote garage pantry space. Okay, so I guess I turned it off. I got the stuff from up there. I can't reach that. And then everything here. And what I've done is I've got this, which is for things that are on this level, the main level, and then another tote, which goes in the stuff for the basement pantry. And my son got him to take that down. And now I'm just going to finish up, which is not going to be that bad. And then there's just some water. It's kind of old water. It's emergency water. But I guess if it's an emergency, you don't care if it tastes like plastic because it's old. I don't really want to get rid of that water. What do you guys think? That water was one of the very few supplies I had for emergencies and earthquakes. I have since expanded my collection, but we don't need it out here. Oh, I bought these before and we don't use them anymore. So this will be donated. I actually didn't even think I'd find much that would be donated. And I think that's the only thing, actually. Wow, there's so much baking soda. Okay. That was so fast. Oh my gosh. All I need is for that and that to be moved. Already have taken one of these downstairs. That's going downstairs. This is just for the main level. Those are safety pins, so, you know, not going to get rid of those. And then this can stay on this level. Donated soap. I can explain I was selling this because we're getting a freezer and we don't need this space here. So immediately I listed it on Facebook Marketplace. Always good to measure. Make sure you check out the Clear It Out Challenge playlist. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!